Sadiq Khan is off to meet the Pope to tell him about ULEZ. The climate crisis really is the new religious cult, isn't it? It will be interesting to see whether or not the Mayor of London is capable of lying directly into the face of one of the holiest men on earth about how much he cares about the planet. He'll be flying there, I imagine, as will his team. The ULEZ expansion raised £27 million from ordinary, hard-working people in the middle of a cost of living crisis in the first month alone, reportedly. For what? Absolutely minimal gain. A study found that the biggest reductions in air pollution actually happened before ULEZ was introduced. Khan's also a frothing hypocrite. He and his entourage have racked up more than 430,000 air miles since he was first elected in 2016. That is enough to fly around the world 17 times, and it is estimated to have pumped out around 200 tonnes of carbon into the atmosphere. Mayor Khan faced criticism for a 5-day trip to the United States in 2022, in which he was seen schmoozing with James Corden on a rooftop terrace bar in Los Angeles after visiting a cannabis factory. There's no climate emergency for him, is there? He was even accused of striking a deal with United Airlines so that he could get free flights. That man's carbon footprint alone is probably responsible for at least a dozen dead polar bears and a few acres of melted ice caps every single year. But this is the reality of our globalist leaders. Sadiq Khan cares more about shaking the Pope's hand and telling him about 15-minute cities and exhaust fumes than he does about people being stabbed to death in his city every single day. Here's the reality, OK? Some headlines from the last few days for you. Horror 3 days in London with stabbings and shootings. Here's another one. Hunt for machete gang after brutal attack in Woolwich. Another one. 2 teenagers charged with attempted murder after a young man shot and stabbed in Dagenham. Another one here. A woman in her 60s was stabbed to death at a bus stop by a man trying to steal her purse. Huge numbers of rapes, sexual assaults and muggings. Last night, a woman was shot as rival gangs fired at each other in Stamford Hill. OK? Scenes like this are happening every single day in our capital. Every day. It's everyday stuff like that. Jews are afraid to walk the street on Saturdays because he's got the pro-Palestine mob rampaging through his city. He doesn't care.
Us on the streets at night time and see about the gangs running around with machetes, because that's the stories I am hearing.
I say in a respectful way, I think the Tory candidate should stop watching The Wire. We're not living in Baltimore.
Disingenuous and odious. Sadiq Khan's priority is swanning off to the Vatican to go and shake hands with the Pope so he can grandstand about net zero with other mayors from around the world who are committed to, and I quote, putting inclusive climate action at the centre of all urban decision-making to create thriving and equitable communities for everyone. I hope they ask for forgiveness when they're there from the Pope, because I think there's a special place in hell for people who turn a blind eye to the suffering of the people they are paid to represent so that they can act like the big man in front of the globalist elite.